Really, really interesting game there. Let me start off with you, Edwin. So Rodri misses the game against Newcastle, they lose. He misses this game, they lose as well. But most importantly for me, Manchester City were almost blunt in this game. Literally created nothing significant. If you saw the goal from a free kick.
Exactly, and this will worry Pep a lot because you'd expect this City team, even when they are behind, to start creating chances, to start attacking their opponents. But as you said, they were very blunt, and you can't understate Rodri's importance to this team. Prior to being red carded, he had made the most starts of any City player since he came to the Premier League. That shows how important he is. And in this game, Kovacic was the one who stepped into his role. A decent performance. He had 87% passing accuracy. He didn't put too many a foot wrong in the game. But he is not Rodri in the sense that, let's take a look at the Man City's match against Nottingham Forest. Rodri had 75 passes, completed passes, in 45 minutes of game time. That was against Nottingham Forest. In this game, Kovacic had 45 completed passes in the minutes that he played. A lot of play goes through Rodri. It's not just the defensive work that he brings to Man City. He is very crucial to their transitions. He wins the ball. He knows where to pass it. His passing is superb. He knows when to drive forward. He has a good shot on him. So losing all that in one player, you can't replace him. Neither Kovacic nor Nunez can replace him. I maintain that Calvin Phillips, who is supposed to be the closest one to replacing Rodri, is not having his best time at Manchester City. He didn't start this game because he was not good enough against Newcastle, and it affected them completely. But you have to credit Wolves again for this win. I think Dawson was supreme in defense. You mentioned Man City being blunt. They have the best striker in the land right now. And the only reason he was quiet, the only reason he was limited to one shot the whole game was because Dawson stuck to him like glue. He was behind him for every single phase of play. Even in moments where Haaland was able to take the ball on, Dawson immediately got to his back and let him know that I'm right behind you. There's no way you are turning around. And it continued throughout the whole game. Haaland was very frustrated, couldn't get into the game.
Probably had one of his fewest touches since he arrived in the Premier League.
Exactly, and as I mentioned, one shot on goal, we don't usually see that from Haaland. Even when he does have that one shot on goal, it usually ends up in the back of the net. But I think City failed to deal with Matheus Nunes. He is Wolves' greatest threat. How do you let him run basically half through?
You mean Pedro Neto?
Sorry, Pedro Neto, I beg your pardon. How do you let him run from the halfway line unchecked? Weak challenges from Foden and then from Nathaniel Ake. He got into the box and there was only one result there. I think this might be a blip. City know how to recover from losses. But Pep will look at these two losses and say, no, this is not a Man City team. This is not how we approach matches. And they're getting into a crucial phase where they face Arsenal. And that is going to be without Rodri. Pep needs to solve that DM problem. Either bringing a new player or pack that midfield so that Rodri's absence does not make a difference. But when you do that, you lose attacking threats, you lose defensive solidity. And there's a lot for him to think about. He wasn't particularly happy with how his team played in this game. I'm sure he did a lot of talking in that dressing room. It's up to the players to show that they can respond, and usually they do.
Well, I honestly believe they...
Just quick thoughts.
Just a quick thought. I think they missed Rodri. Yes, he's talked about the tactical bits and all. I think it was because if Rodri was present and you had Neto running the entire field, he would have tackled him. He would have pulled his shirt, taken that tactical foul, and prevented that attack from happening. And that's what you need from Rodri. And because he was absent, he didn't have any players stepping up to make that challenge. But I honestly believe Man City have enough time to make the adjustments and give the likes of Calvin Phillips and Mateo Kovacic enough time for them to build themselves into that starting lineup and be able to beat Arsenal. I honestly see them beating Arsenal.
Well, it's 2 defeats in 2 without Rodri. Hopefully, Arsenal will be thinking, hey, this is our chance. Let me read a few messages before we take our first break.